welcome back to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda, giving you all the latest updates on anything and all things Ravens. Please make sure to keep subscribing to the channel and like the videos. Let's dive into the latest news I have for you today. So, this video is going to be talking about the first day of training camp and what Ronnie Stanley had to say about his $60 million deal that he had signed earlier in the spring. First of all, we're going to go into Ronnie Stanley because he's been through a lot in the past couple of seasons, and finally he's back to form. This is what he had to say about his $60 million deal, and I love this answer. So I didn't sign the $60 million deal to write out my career. I signed it to protect Lamar, lead this locker room, and bring Super Bowl 60 home to Baltimore. This city believed in me when I was broken. Now I'm all in to finish what we started. Mind you, I'm going to admit this myself. I was not a fan of Ronnie Stanley during all of his injury issues. I'm pretty sure some fans will agree with that. It was just constantly we were being set back. We had to deal with a lot of issues with the offensive line. And once Ronnie Stanley came back, it made us really appreciate the waiting time. You know, like when he was fully healthy last season, it was just, we really, I didn't value what he brought to the offensive line and what he brought to this team until he was healthy. We had him in 2019 when he signed that record-breaking deal, and then he got injured. Didn't really see him up to form. He tried to come back, and then he had to get surgery and was out for a couple more seasons. And now he's finally back to full form, and we signed him to another good deal. I'm all for it. I mean, yes, the injury bug does seem to plague him a little bit, but again, he seems to have gotten over that, and he's just ready to bring Super Bowl 60 to Baltimore. Love this answer from Ronnie Stanley, and absolutely, I really appreciate the guru that he is and what he brings to the offensive line. He is the best left tackle in the league, in my opinion, and we all missed him. And I want to say I apologize for anything I said about Stanley during, his injury setback, and the team really invested in him. They waited. They didn't, say, oh, we have to start moving on to the next guy. We got to let you go. They said, we're going to wait because we know what you can bring to the table, and it paid off beautifully. Moving on. So Harbaugh had a lot to say about the first day of camp. One of these things that was said is that he had mentioned that Jay Kummel is out with a non-football hand injury. Estimate he'll miss about a week. No big deal. Also, he called it an excellent first day, but there are still miles to go. This makes sense because, the team is back in full form. Everyone's back together. Some people are still, on the sidelines with injuries, but, we saw Jair Alexander out there. We saw Hopkins out there. Lamar was out there. Everyone was out there and participating. It was like one of those days where we saw the entire team back together, getting the new rookies mixed in with the vets, and being able to, see how this team would look come the first day. It looked, to Harbaugh, it looked beautiful. But again, we still got a ways to go. This team is not ready for the first game of the regular season, but I promise it will be ready come kickoff. This team, has proven that, they have the chemistry to bond together, to be able to work together as a team. I know that's pretty cheesy to say, but Harbaugh did say this was an amazing first day. We got some ways to go, but amazing first day. This is great to hear. I absolutely love the enthusiasm from our head coach. Moving on, so one of the standouts of the first day of training camp was Zay Flowers. He bloomed, as you would say, so, pun intended, but it was an eventful day for Zay Flowers, according to Jeff Z from the Baltimore Sun. He caught a short pass that turned into a long touchdown to get the full teamwork kick-started. He was the kickstart for the whole practice. He appeared to turn his ankle and limped off the field. Flowers missed a few plays and returned and made several catches. He looked good. This is great. Obviously the ankle turning is a little bit scary, but for him to be able to, just get things running and going, just, hit the ground running. Love this, enthusiasm from Zay Flowers. He is just, quick and ready to go. it is, he is setting the example of what this team should be like for the next, month and a half of training camp, and love it the fact that he is just leading the Kickstarter in a way, already taking practice super seriously like all the other team members do. But again, he stood out the most for this first day of training camp, and that's our wide receiver one. Love to see that he's back in full form, like he said that he would be, and you know, amazing to see. Well, hopefully we will see a lot more plays, not just out of Flowers, but out of Bateman, Hopkins, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, Tez Walker. I want to see, LaJohntay Wester get a shout out in there. But again, great to see that the Flowers is, the Kickstarter for this training camp so far. Lastly, here, the kicker competition starts. I have been waiting for this competition, second minus the guard position one, but I want to see this one the most, in a sense of I want to see who's going to be the Justin Tucker replacement. So according to Jeff Zebrek, he in daily kicking completion, Tyler Loop was 6 for 6. All his attempts were from 40 and inside. Hoyland was 4 of 5. His miss was from 40. So far, it looks like. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, Jeff. By the way, and so far, Loop has got it. Lead in the kicking competition. He's looking good. But again, this will go back and forth probably because both of them are super talented, and both of them are probably, they both know what's at stake here. They're not just, the kicker for the Ravens football team. They are the replacement for Justin Tucker. And which, by the way, the Ravens have not ruled out leaving the door open for Justin Tucker. I'm just assuming they're saying this because, Justin Tucker has been a huge part of the Ravens for many years. And they are just like, if something miraculous were to happen where he is not guilty of all of these accusations against him, then we would not mind bringing him back. But again, I think it's just like a polite thing to do in the sense, and I think they're trying to steer away from that. But anyway, enough of that. Loop and Hoyland. Loop has got the lead right now in the competition. Obviously, Hoyland will definitely bounce back a little bit because this is what at stake here. I mean, I don't see the Ravens keeping 2 kickers. I don't think that's going to be the case at all. So one of them is going to be the Ravens kicker, and one of them is either going to be on the practice squad or they're going to find another team. So, but again, keeping everyone updated on that. Loop has got the lead. I will keep you all updated as we go forward with that, if there are any updates moving forward. Thank you for tuning in to Ravens Today. I'm your host, Connor Gioffreda. Again, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I will catch you all later.